Yo, yeah, y'all know what time it is.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the second installment of Kiss My Keister, where we like to find topics online, have some fun talking about them with each other as well as with our guests. Today's episode is brought to you by
Brandenburg Painting, where you can have a no-contact or a contact-free estimate at your home at your convenience.
So, thank you again for tuning in to Kiss My Keister on Society Bites Radio, where we like to find topics. So we had found some great topics to talk about this time around, and I have to say, Katie, we're going to have some fun talking about these.
Yes, we are, and we're going to talk about one in particular right off the bat.
Go for it.
Walmart.
Oh, yeah. This has got to be the greatest thing I've ever heard of in my life. In over a decade, Walmart announced probably about a week ago, something like that, saying that they are giving all their employees Thanksgiving Day off. Who knew? It only took a pandemic to actually close a store on Thanksgiving to give people thanks.
Are we sure it's closed?
Well, probably online. You probably still buy stuff online, but the people are off from what it says.
Okay, well, I have a perfect Kiss My Keister for Walmart.
Go ahead.
Walmart, I have to go there to pick up my potty pads for my puppy dog, and I like to get my fruit there because it's a little less expensive than other places. The only problem was when I got there on Friday, or Saturday, I guess it was, I had to stand in line for a half an hour before I could get in. And yes, we did have to pay 6 feet apart. And when I got up to the guy, I fully expected to have my temperature taken, the whole 9 yards. But no, they're counting how many people are in the store at a time. So they're not necessarily letting people in like you would normally go in. You have to wait and be counted, and they have to have people coming out in order for you to go in. So they're keeping the number of patrons down to a very dull roar. But I can tell you, standing out in that heat for a half an hour in a mask, breathing my own carbon monoxide, I could have passed out by the time I got a cart.
That's true, and I've actually seen it with a lot of other stores. In fact, I was just at Best Buy yesterday and had to do the customer count too, and they were only letting a max of 68 people inside the store at one given time. So they had to wait for 2 people to come out, for 2 people to go in. I think a lot of stores are going that direction, and it's getting really, right off the bat.
Well, I mean, of all the places in the world, Walmart makes everybody mad. At one point or another, they're always doing something that's really peeving people. And this was no exception. I posted a picture of the line in front of me at Walmart, and I fully expected somebody to say something. And believe me, they did. There were all kinds of comments. On that particular episode, I wish I could have it pulled up. Maybe I will soon. But they were being so cautious, and the little guy out front, one looked retired, he looked tired, and he was looking at a screen that's not much bigger than my iPhone, and he would look, and you couldn't see his face because he's in a mask, of course, but then he would look at you and grin like you could see his eyes, so you knew he was grinning, and he just nod, and your turn, you can go in now.
I love it. I mean, this is the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. Being counted to go into a store when you didn't have to before. But, it is what it is.
Well, I think before they allow people in the store, though, they should give them a crash course on what enter this way, do not enter, and 6 feet apart at the register. They need to know what that means, because I'm following the rules. I'm snaking back and forth in between the aisles, and sure shooting, here comes families that can't even speak English, and they're just going the other direction.
That was the interesting thing that I saw at a couple stores where, they have like the little floor mats there saying this direction, can't go this direction, whatever. And I have to tell you, our line of sight, and me being 5'6" anyway, my line of sight is straight ahead. I'm not looking at the floor. So if I walk down the wrong aisle, I apologize now. But the thing is, I'm like, holy bejeebus, this is just hilarious that, I have to look down to say, is this acceptable to go this way or is it not acceptable? And you have people that break the rules and...
Yeah, exactly. And, not to label any nationality because we are the vacation state. Believe it or not, people are still coming. I'm not real sure why. But
well, we're still trying to figure out roundabouts.
They're putting seniors in cars that can't go a straight line. How are we going to get them to go in a circle?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. They just installed one just down the street from me, and they're just going to put another two, which is going to be really good.
Yeah, they're getting to the point where they're kind of roundabout happy, and I'm just kind of wondering, are they just bored? They don't have anything else to do?
Well, see, I don't know if this is true or not, but someone told me they had a connection into, like, Manatee County type of scenario, and they were mentioning the fact that the reason why they do the roundabouts and not to do the street lights or anything like that is because of emissions. They don't want people sitting there idling their cars and having emissions. So they put the roundabouts in so people can go around. My thing is, if you look at half the cars that are in Florida, they're spewing out black emissions anyway. So why wouldn't you just reinstitutionalize the emissions law, and then therefore people can get their emissions check? And oh my goodness, now the state has money. People can get their cars fixed, and maybe they're off the road, and we have less cars on the road. I don't know, just a thought.
I think it's a ploy to get people to buy more cars, because the more accidents there are, the more cars people will have to buy.
Well, that and also certain professions go up in business, too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
They're all over the place.
So what else is going on in the news?
So this is real. I love this one. It was the greatest things that I loved. But are you really sick and tired of working at home? Because if you are, Bermuda wants you.
Oh, well, that's good. I can go to Bermuda and get lost in the triangle.
That's true. You could get lost in the triangle. But the Prime Minister over there is offering a 12-month guest pass, if you want, a welcome stamp, if you want to say, that you can actually go to Bermuda for 12 months. And if you can actually have a job that works remotely from wherever you can, why not go to Bermuda? If you're up in PA, Wisconsin, whatever, in the cold, go to Bermuda. You got it for 12 months.
I'd have to think about that. I'm looking for ways to get out of the house. If I have to quarantine myself, I guess Bermuda's a good place to start.
Well, yeah, I would probably say Bermuda's the best to go.
I think I'd rather go on vacation someplace that's not quite so steamy. I love tropical weather, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, isn't that sort of a little too much in the sun? How close to the equator are you?
Yeah, you're a little bit closer, but, think about it. You're up in Michigan and all that in the blistering cold weather, warmer. Cold, warmer.
All right, let me think. Frostbite blisters or sunburn blisters? I think the sunburn blisters I'd probably get over better.
I agree, 100%.
And we'll be right back after this message.
I like how you stop your leg.
And we're back. All right, Joe, what else is going on?
So, this is a hilarious article that I found online, and it was posted about a week ago. But LinkedIn is cutting 960 jobs as the pandemic puts brakes on corporate hiring. What I find funny about this is I have tried to contact LinkedIn many times through phone and email and all this other stuff, and all it is automated systems. I've never talked to a real person. I've had other people talk about LinkedIn, how they couldn't get a real person. So where are the 960 jobs coming from? I don't know what they do.
Is LinkedIn part of your contact list?
It is, but the thing is, I don't know about the 960 jobs in there.
Well, you may not be able to find out about them unless you are, on their friends list. And if you're not on their friends list, they're not going to tell you.
Well, this is going to be very interesting. I'm just curious to know what the 960 jobs did, to tell you the truth. I'm just wondering, were they more building the site or something? It's just interesting how it does it. But LinkedIn, kudos.
Well, now, no offense to you, Joe, but LinkedIn has an ungodly number of real estate agents listed. It's very interesting. I'll go in there and I'll try to look for a particular category, or I'll accept someone's request to become part of my LinkedIn networking. And oddly enough, instead of getting their contacts in the same line of work that they're in as they say they're going to give you, the next 10 pages are nothing but a bunch of real estate agents. And I'm sorry, but, where do we say enough is enough here? Shouldn't there be something?
It's interesting that you say that, but I think it's just technology itself. Think about this, Katie.
Oh, you're going to make this logical, aren't you?
Yes, I am. It's going to be very logical at this moment. Oh, geez. But think about this. You go to Google and you type up Be Swanky bags, and you want to look them up. So you find their website, you look at the bag, and you say, okay, I'm not interested in buying right now. And now you go to Barnes & Noble. Well, there's a little banner ad that pops up on the side there, and it says, hey, remember Be Swanky? You're just there. And it kind of advertises it. So technology, it's a fun thing.
Well, it may be a fun thing for you, but I find it a total annoyance. I have always said, when I retire, no phone, no computer, and no contacts.
So what I'm hearing is you're going to go to Gilligan's Island?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so you're just going to have the coconut radio that works.
Exactly.
That they could never find a way to get off the island, but they were able to make a radio.
That's right. And the only batteries we're going to have in the house are going to run the remote for the TV.
No, that's technology. You can't have it.
Yes, I can.
You can't, because it's going to advertise and be all over the place.
No, it doesn't. That's why you get a DVR. You zip right through those suckers.
I didn't even know they still made those things. That's interesting. I know they have on demand, and Netflix and Hulu has certain things, but that's interesting. Yeah,
the gimmick they've got, though, is you can't fast forward when you do a start over. That hurts.
Oh, yeah. I actually had an experience with one of those where I tried to rewind, and it said, no, can't rewind. Got to start at the beginning. I'm like, but I don't want to watch 20 minutes that I've already watched.
Exactly. Nor do you want to see the next 20 minutes of commercials.
Yeah, so technology.
That's why we keep our sponsorships to a minimum.
This is true. So another thing I read, and I wanted to bring this up to you, Katie, is this kind of goes hand in hand with another article I found, that stadium vendors feel that there's no hope of returning back to work in 2020 with all the stadiums being closed. Now, Coca-Cola saw a drop in their stadium revenue as well. But my thing is, not only do I feel that the stadium vendors are going to be hurt by this, but what about the games themselves? Now, we just heard recently, a couple days ago on TV, baseball is back, and all this other stuff. And I'm sure NBA and NFL are all going to come back too. But how are the things going to happen now, where they're going to let people come in, how many people they're going to come in?
Do you remember a movie from way back called Rollerball with James Caan?
I know of the movie, but I never saw the movie.
Okay, it was a game that was played physically with virtual crowds.
Wow. Interesting.
You should watch that movie. It was pretty good. But it was sort of a prediction of what we're dealing with today with our no spectator sports. Because I'm sorry, a ball game isn't a ball game unless I can have a beer and a hot dog. And if I can't go and